Hey Thomas, how's your day going so far?
It's going pretty good, pretty good. How about you?
I can't complain. Another sunny day in Michigan.
Oh yeah, it's a nice one today.
Yeah. Well, it's great to hear from you again. I set up this meeting today to make sure that you're being successful in your position and that you're on the right path for a great quarter. Do you mind if we jump into an agenda I've set up for our meeting today?
Yeah, that works for me.
All right, give me 1 second to set this up for you. All right. So, what I want to do today is I want to ask you some questions to gain a better understanding of your perspective in your current position. Second, I would like to set up some goals for you going forward into the final 2 quarters of this year. Third, I would like to communicate with you what my expectations are for you going forward. This will be regarding the goals we set up today. And finally, I would like to discuss setting up another appointment with you next month so that we can check up with you and make sure you're progressing towards your goals. This meeting will also allow me to understand how I can best help you with your future goals. Does everything I just said sound good to you?
Yeah, it sounds like it would help.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else I did not mention that you would like to discuss today?
Nope, I think we're all good.
Cool. Take that down for you. Now, I'd like to start by asking you some questions to help me gain a better understanding of your perspective in regards to quarter 2 and your overall performance. Have you had a chance to review your numbers for quarter 2?
Yeah, I looked at it, but not in too much detail.
Okay, well, we'll go over it in more detail in this meeting. And how do you think you did specifically in quarter 2?
I know I didn't perform as well as I probably should have. I didn't sell any equipment sales, which I know is probably going to hurt me.
Yes, we'll discuss that. Not a lot of sales money does come from equipment sales, but they are still important to meeting your yearly quota. But like I said, we'll discuss that a little later in this meeting. So, and we're going to go over your specific numbers later in this meeting, but going forward into quarter 3, how do you plan on achieving your sales goals and achieving your quota?
I'm going to try to do what I did in 2020 when I reached my goal, and I'm going to just try to do exactly what I did then and just keep pushing and figuring out how I can get more and more sales, I guess.
Okay, sounds like a good plan of action. Now, many of your clients love your charming and pleasant attitude when it comes to dealing with you as a sales rep, but they wish that you were quicker to respond to your messages. How have you been dealing with this, and why might customers think of this of you?
I haven't really been dealing with it that much, and I've just been so busy, and I have so many customers that I feel like it shouldn't be my responsibility to have to feedback with all of these people. But I don't know.
I understand that mentality, but as you know, Stryker is a customer oriented business, and it's really important that you maintain those relationships with your customers. I also understand in 2019 you missed your quota and you put on a performance improvement plan, which was successful. However, you did make your quota in 2020, and in 2021 you had zero equipment sales. Well, actually, you missed your quota in 2020. My bad. And in
Mhm.
2021 you had zero equipment sales. Could you explain to me what has been holding you back from reaching these quotas and the trouble with your equipment sales?
Um, I guess it's just I feel like I'm not really doing anything wrong. I'm just things just keep going wrong for me. I'm not sure if it's just because this is my slump of the sales process or if I need something to improve. I just feel like stuff's not just going as right as it should, as usually does.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about some strategies later in this meeting that'll be able to help you formulate some strategies to help achieve those goals. At least that I think will help you achieve those goals. Something that else was brought to my attention is that you like to drink alcohol during your sales meeting, and Ursula has had to help you in the past when this happens. Have you seen this as a problem in your sales meetings?
Yeah, I think I have lost some relationship with coworkers and even clients from acting a little too much when I'm drinking alcohol. But there's not really something I can really fix on that. I just guess I got to slow down. But I like to drink alcohol.
Yeah, and so do I, but I'm glad you realized that. I just wanted to bring that up to your attention. In our last meeting, I did also notice that your home office was a little bit unorganized. Do you think this could affect your work in any way?
Um, I haven't had it. I feel like it might be affecting my work, but it's just really. I feel almost overwhelmed or kind of just really busy with all of the stuff that's surrounding me right now.
I understand that. And sometimes people have an organized chaos, as they like to say. I just thought it'd be something I'd bring up and bring to your attention that I noticed and that your clients might notice. At this point, I'd like to take a more in depth look into your quarter two numbers and, from my perspective, how you did this quarter. Is that all right with you?
Yep, that's all right.
All right. Well, your total sales at the end of Q2 were 32,000, and the quota you're trying to reach this year is 110,000. This means you're currently sitting at 29% of your quota through your first two quarters, and you still have to make $78,000 in sales to meet this quota goal. I have some ways that I think we can achieve this goal, and we'll discuss those later in this meeting as well. You still have not made any equipment sales like we discussed during these two quarters. I think this might be something we'll have to focus more detail on moving forward. The last thing I'd like to focus on is your closing ratio, which is at 36%. This is right on the dot for our team average, so I want to congratulate you on this rate. I still think, though, that we can see this number going even higher with the proper steps and goals aligned out for you. Increasing this rate will help you get closer to achieving your quota. Now, does that sound good to you?
Yeah, that makes sense. But is it possible to keep raising the closing rate up and up? Or
You know, like I said, you are at the average. That's why I congratulated you on it. But as you know, the higher your closing ratio gets, the more sales you're going to end up making, and the more your total sales is going to be increasing. Now, this isn't an area I want to put too much focus on, but it was just something I wanted to bring to your attention, something I bring to attention to all my sales team members, because I think it's a really important ratio to gauge where you are. Does that make sense?
yeah, that makes sense now.
Awesome. Now, after reviewing your numbers, I think there are some areas where we could strive for improvement. I know you are adaptable, so I'm going to ask you to make some changes regarding your current sales tactics. Are you committed to making improvements and advancing towards your goals this year?
Yeah, I want to be one of the top performers this year.
Awesome. Well, I'd love to hear that, Thomas. I'd like to make some suggestions about how we can move towards improving these areas. Now, in regards to your client, you know, as an intellectual person as yourself, customer reputation is really important in the market of sales. Like I discussed, Stryker is a sales oriented, customer oriented business. Now, I want you to work diligently to respond and be available to your clients in a timely manner. This might have to do with some of your organization skills, but I think by doing this, you'll see that your quarterly sales will increase and you'll be able to make your quotas in all categories. Can you see how this could be an important step to improving your total sales?
Yeah, I can see how that makes sense.
Great. Now, it seems you have no problem with your disposable sales in terms of sales dollars, but you're lacking more in equipment sales. Like I said, I think refocusing your approach and focusing more on increasing your current equipment sales, you will be able to see it more attainable to reach your yearly quota. Also, an area that I think would be able to make a significant improvement is your sales overall and your average calls per day. Currently, you're sitting at 2.12 average calls per day, which is 1.29 calls per day less than the team's average. If you were able to increase your average calls per day to the team average, you would roughly be adding one more sales calls each day, which isn't that much. But in turn, this is going to increase dramatically in a quarterly basis. In terms of actual dollars, this would increase your total sales by 20,639, making your total sales for the quarter $52,639. Can you see how this
Wow.
would put you closer to your quota for the coming quarters?
It does make sense. It seems like a lot of money though for just a little bit of change.
Well, you know, if you look at how much money you're actually making from each sales calls and multiply that and do the math like I did, you'll see that this 20,000 increase is actually the number that comes out of it. And that's why so many other sales reps next to you are making so much more money and being closer to their quota. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, another area I think we could see some improvement is your number of disposable orders. As it stands this quarter, you made 50 disposable orders, whereas the team average sits at 78 orders, meaning you're 28 orders below the team average. If you were to increase your orders, which will increase with more sales calls each day, you're going to see a $17,920 increase to your current disposable order numbers, hypothetically. Now, this alone would increase your sales from orders to 49,920, where it currently sits at 32,000. And this would get you on track to meeting your quota for the coming quarters. Do you see how increasing your disposable orders would also help you reach your goal?
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Awesome. Well, and these things kind of go hand in hand with increasing your average sales calls per day. You're going to be increasing your orders. So I think it will be something that will be easily attainable for you to work on because it's kind of both falls in the same categories. Now, if we look at both these numbers and add them to your current sales quarters for the years, which was 32,000, you would hypothetically have a little over 70,500 in total sales. And this would start putting you on the right path to being one of our top reps. Can you see how making these improvements in the areas that we discussed could get you closer to meeting this overall sales quota?
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing how it could get me closer to my quota.
Awesome, Thomas. Well, I'm glad you see it that way. Now, like I said, understand equipment sales have never really been your strong suit. Where have you excelled in your disposable sales more so? Now, I think setting up a meeting with Shannon, who has been at the top of our sales rep for equipment sales in the past year, would give you guidance and you'd be able to pick up some of her tricks of the trade, and this would allow you to start earning more equipment sales. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, I could definitely pick some time to meet with Shannon.
Awesome. Well, I'd like you to set up that meeting, and I think it would be really beneficial for you. Now, also, like we discussed earlier, those numbers of your average calls per day and your disposable orders, can you commit to increasing your average calls per day by 1.29 and your disposable orders by 28 by the end of this next quarter?
So that'd be kind of like my goal then.
Yes, this would be the goal that you basically be shooting for that would get you more on track for making your total sales and meeting your actual quota of 110,000.
Yeah, I think I could raise my percentages up to what we talked about.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Now, I'd also like to set up a follow up appointment for next month so that we can check up on those goals and evaluate your progress that you're making. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I can make that work.
All right. How does Friday, March 27th at 12 p.m. work?
Friday, March 27th. Yep, I can make that work at 12 p.m.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to put that in my Google Calendar and I'll also send over an email to you that will implement that into your Google Calendar so you have that date.
Awesome.
All right. Well, Thomas, this sounds great. It was great meeting with you today, and I can't wait for our next meeting and all the progress I'm sure you're to make. Now, I want you to have a great rest of your week.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the additional steps to help me get to where I can be a really valuable person in this company by helping me get the mentorship program and all that kind of stuff.
All right, Thomas. Well, it's good talking to you.
Yep. See ya.